This is Tony Hendrick with Painting Spirit, and today I want you to just take a minute and just feel a smile inside of you. Just gently feel a smile inside. Just take a minute to do that. Just a moment. Really feel a smile inside. Just gently allow that smile to well up inside. So today, my subject is going to be, let's see here. Today my subject's going to be the space between. And so what got me thinking about this is I watched a video of a song yesterday by Neil Young and Crazy Horse, and so the title of the song is Change Your Mind. I'll post it in the comments after the video. But it was just really cool. The guitar solos in it, I guess they're called guitar solos. I don't know if they really are, because all three of them were playing guitars at the same time, but the riff between the lyrics, some of the best guitar solo work that I've ever heard. And I was just amazed by it, just blown away by it. And I just had this amazing feeling of fullness happening while listening to it. And I realized what was going on with what Neil Young was doing with his guitar is it was the space between the chords that he was stretching out and doing all these cool things with that was really creating that feeling of fullness inside for me while I was listening to the song. And it got me thinking about that with painting. The space between. I actually have a painting titled that. So it's a pretty cool little painting of a couple of maple trees out in our sugar bush, and it's in the field behind them was kind of filling the space of the painting. And it gets me thinking about something that I learned early on in high school. I'm not sure if it was a technique that came out of the drawing on the right side of the brain or not, but basically the assignment was to, I think we were drawing a chair or something. It was just to simply draw the space around the chair instead of the chair itself. You know, that's called negative space, which is a term that I think is a little misleading, negative space, because there's so much fullness in the space. And I really get into the space in my paintings, even though there's a lot going on in my paintings. I really like that sense of space. And it could be created with colors. Right now, I am working on a bit of a landscape. We'll see how this goes. I think one of the things that space requires is time. So we'll see where this painting actually leads in 15 minutes, which is not a whole lot of time. But if I just make some choices with colors that help to create the space. Again, just playing around with the space and the painting. You know, something about space. Why is there that feeling of fullness when you connect with space inside of yourself? I don't know, this is kind of just a way of me looking at it. Whether it's true or not, I'm not sure, but if you've listened to any science programs, I'm sure you've come across the description of our molecular structure being mostly space. So essentially if you go down to the smallest little particles inside of each atom of your body, it's mostly space. And I don't even remember the percentage. It's like really, pretty much all space. These particles flying around. So on a scientific level, if we're truly mostly space, what does that say? I often remind myself when I want to pick up my phone and fill the space that's starting to swell up inside of me, try and fill it with a habit of picking up my phone and looking at it or whatever. I remind myself, how about you just connect right now? Just connect to that space inside. It takes a little bit to get out of the habits that we have of filling the space with stuff. It takes a little bit to get out of that habit, but if you can just sort of focus on that space that's always there. The reason I started this off with feeling the smile inside, because I think that's actually how to focus on the space, is feeling for it. Feeling for that smile inside. Really not sure where this painting is going to go. I picked quite a full little landscape, but it is all these trees with the space around it, and just sort of feels full to me. But this is one of the traps that I've found with art. If I have an idea and I want to accomplish the idea, I'm kind of in my mind at that moment, and sometimes it just doesn't work out. But let's see if I can get out of that and just get into the painting and play with it. Playtime's about space, isn't it? Recess. So I'm going to just take a little bit of time and play with the painting in a little bit of time that I have left. Just sort of move the paint around. This is actually, I think this is at Ludington State Park. It's on top of it's a trail on top of a dune, the ridge of a dune, and all these trees on the top of it. I just thought it was a neat image. See if I can bring in some different kind of brushwork happening here to play with the space between these trees. I remember when I was in college, painting billboards at the time. Went to school part-time, worked full-time, painting billboards. And basically I structured my day from sun up to sundown. Every minute was accounted for. Taking 2 classes a semester while working full-time, and that full-time was actually much more than just 40 hours many times. Let's see here. There was a bit of aliveness in that, excitement, feeling like I was getting somewhere with my life. Eventually, the back goes out, things happen, car accidents. Start to realize there's something more to life than getting someplace. And I really feel like it is that space between that we're really trying to get to, and that is here all the time. Just gotta feel into it with that warm smile inside. Well, I'm not sure about this painting. Let's see here. It's kind of a challenging painting for me. Let's see here. Let's bring in some of these roots. Twisty little roots. You know, when I'm working from a landscape like this, I'm not trying to fill it with everything that I'm looking at. What I do is I look for what jumps out to me, and I just focus on that. It tends to create a bit of an abstraction in the painting, but that abstraction has a much more of a aliveness to it. And if I had just tried to paint everything that was in the painting. Well, not sure how successful this painting was today, but I did enjoy just the space between my thoughts there. Anyway, so the weekend's coming up. Take a little bit of time to enjoy that space inside yourself. Enjoy the weekend, the space between. If you work during the week, I know schedules are different for everybody, so maybe the weekend is when you go to work, but you can still find that space within wherever you are, because it's always with you. And get out your own brushes. Enjoy the weekend. We'll see you on Monday.